Texture. Oh, he gets given a gift there. Spring with a trade, but a 1v2 now called upon. CFFB only has the classic. Oh my god. Wait, this is doable. This is so doable. Ash
is sticking it. He's got a half.
But he's got the drone. CFFB.
Oh my god.
Do this. The dreamers stay alive and somehow do the unthinkable.
This past week at Masters Toronto has treated us to one of the greatest comebacks of all time and arguably the best Cinderella run in Valorant history. So can Wolves actually go all the way, or will G2, Fnatic or Paper Rex be the ones to put an end to it? Playoffs at Masters Toronto has been filled with surprises. From day one of the bracket stage, we watched as each and every #1 seed fell to teams who fought their way through the Swiss stage. Most notably, G2, one of the tournament favourites, lost right off the bat to Paper Rex and was sent down to the lower bracket. We spoke to Jonah P after that match, and here's what he had to say.
We prepared harder for that, but I wouldn't say it's because Paper Rex had to go through group stage, they had the advantage. I think their advantage was just how much they've improved as a team and their macro style of playing, and yeah, they just honestly outplayed us in a lot of rounds.
Following Paper Rex's victory over G2, the Chinese #1 seed XLG made their international debut against Sentinels, and it certainly wasn't the debut they would have wanted. Zekken farmed them. Now, to be fair to XLG here, they came into the event under pretty unfortunate circumstances. Despite winning stage 1 in China, they suspended one of their key players, Yu, and replaced him with Midi from Trace Esports. It didn't seem like a bad replacement on paper, but the problem is that Midi doesn't actually speak English, and the team communicates in English for their Russian superstar Raga. But Sentinel's win against XLG meant that they completed the Chinese gauntlet, taking down all 3 teams from the region at this event. Day 2 of playoffs gave us yet another international debut, but unfortunately for RRQ, the 1 seed curse continued on Saturday. Wolves extended their incredible underdog run with yet another 2-0 victory. The opening round of playoffs finished with an absolute barn burner between gen.g and Fnatic. The Koreans stole away some crucial rounds on Haven to take the lead in the series, but map 2 was a roller coaster. Fnatic were down 8-3 in the first half on split, and it seemed like they were destined to lose the match 2-0. But then a power outage caused all of the screens at the venue to go black. Both teams played out the final round of the half, and gen.g managed to go up 9-3 at the half before a lengthy tech pause resolved the power issues. Once the action got back underway, Fnatic won the second half pistol and anti-eco, but gen.g continued to push them to their limits, eventually taking things to map point at 12-7. But Fnatic willed their way to overtime and pulled off one of the best comebacks you'll ever see, taking the series to a decider on split. Unfortunately, the EMEA 1 seed had used up all of their magic, and like every other top seed, they too were sent down to the lower bracket. Texture put on a clinic with some jaw-dropping op plays on Neon.
Texture ends up giving up, and he's Scott just sliding at him with an operator. Excuse me, what is that? As he hits the follow-up. The repeat, does he got a third in him? Yes, he does!
Fnatic's loss to gen.g meant that all 4 #1 seeds lost their opening match despite having an extra week to sit back and prep. It also started a discussion regarding whether or not receiving a playoff bye is actually a benefit. Sentinels head coach Kaplan said in their post-match press conference that he definitely would have preferred to have the extra week to prep. While other coaches like G2's Josh RT tweeted that he would prefer if first seed still had to play in the group stage because he believes that tournament momentum is real. Valorant's head of global esports, Leo Faria, also shared his thoughts on Twitter, stating that he still believes that the advantage given to first seeds is substantial. He listed things like a guaranteed top 8 finish, resulting in higher prize pools and more championship points. He also mentioned that first seeds are given the ability to dissect every other team's strat while keeping their own under wraps. They're given more time to prep and settle into new cities, while also being able to pick their opponents at the start of playoffs. Leo also acknowledged that other factors like meta shifts can affect teams, but historically first seeds have performed as expected or better on average. He added that Riot will continue monitoring this and make changes if and when they're needed. I know a lot of people watching this video right now probably think that the teams and coaches that are complaining are just coping because they lost, and that's fair. But the teams that progressed through Swiss absolutely hit the ground running in playoffs, and it reminded everyone just how important it is to get actual reps playing matches on stage. Anyways, with the opening round of playoffs out of the way, G2 took on XLG and sent them packing with a fairly dominant 2-0 victory. Fnatic also bounced back in the lower bracket, taking down RRQ while debuting a new Ascent comp where Alpha looked at home on Chamber.
But he's got the job done. Caught on the cross though, Alpha.
Those first two lower bracket matches went as expected, but the first upper semi-final match between Gen.g and Wolves was an unexpected banger. Most people had Gen.g winning this one, and to be fair, they had pretty significant leads on both maps, but Wolves refused to go down without a fight. They fought their way back from a 9-3 deficit on map 1 and an 8-4 deficit on map 2 to keep their dream run alive. Wolves are going on arguably the greatest Cinderella run Valorant has ever seen. It's giving serious Zeta Division vibes, having already equaled the Japanese team's third place finish at Masters Reykjavik 2022. The official Twitter account of Wolves Football Club even tweeted about the dub, but their fans didn't really seem to get it. At this point, nobody can count this team out. Their IGL, Sufat Baby, is basically the main character of the tournament. This guy's aura is through the roof, and you can't not love him.
Sufat Baby is just a vibe merchant. He's probably the China region Zelsis kind of thing, and it's quite ironic that, you know, he found his confidence and the aura kind of started when he met Zelsis at the gym. A kid that's super nervous going into this game, and now he has that conversation with Zelsis, and Zelsis is just saying, look, you just be yourself. Don't worry about what's going on the stage. Focus on yourself, and you're starting to see he's very, very comfortable through standing up every single time, hyping up the crowd, talking smack across the board too when they're winning rounds and winning games, and I think that means a lot here in terms of the type of, not necessarily chemistry, but confidence for the rest of the team when you have a person like that that's able to be, you know, the tip of the spear in terms of vibes for the team.
He showed me in the gym, he was like, look at this picture, it was 5 of us standing up. He's like, no one ever done that. I was like, yeah, no one's ever done that but you. And he's like, oh, you know, it got to him. He's like, you are the reason why your team is winning. You're showing that passion, and you're showing that volume that no one has as some other individual teams that have nobody like hyping them up. So I think Wolves is going to be the dark horse of my personal story.
The other upper bracket semi-final saw PaperX dumpster Sentinels on Split before making a comeback on Sunset to send the American hopefuls down to the lower bracket where Fnatic were awaiting them. Despite nearly tossing away their spot in playoffs and choking against Team Liquid in Swiss, PaperX have looked solid in their past 2 matches. It's taken them a long time to get back in this position, but they finally look like a team that can make a grand final. Whether or not they'll choke in another grand final, we'll have to see about that. But first, they need to get through Wolves.
But I think they're the protagonists of this tournament. I think they've got the same kind of feeling that EG had when we played them, like 2023. It feels like they can do no wrong. Good news is we have experience, you know, so we know that it can be a bit dangerous if you underestimate these kind of people, this kind of magic.
Fnatic vs Sentinels was already crazy enough on paper, but before we saw those two teams face off, Gen.g and G2 had to battle it out first, and this was a match for the ages. G2 came out swinging on Lotus, but failed to close things out on Haven. Gen.g started to take over on Icebox, winning both pistols and the bonus to take an 11-4 lead, but G2 never backed down.
Earns himself a possibility, but against 2 players it would have to be ridiculous. Tough. Not being forced out. G2 far too collected. Throw caution to the wind. Claim the kills. Claim their lives. You will take nothing further into the next. Even a miracle team. They're looking to put the fear of God into everyone at this event.
You gotta feel for Gen.g after letting yet another lead slip away, but G2 have proved that they can come back from anything. If you don't put them away, then this is just what they do.
I have a lot of emotions, honestly. I don't know how to describe it. I feel like I could play another game, honestly. I have so much adrenaline right now. But yeah, I am super proud of the team because that was like a team win. There wasn't like clutches. It was just trades, good communication, good macro, just we knew what to do. So it felt like a really good win.
But similar to G2, Fnatic have also shown an insane amount of resilience at this event. Despite falling on Sunset, Fnatic dominated on Ascent to take the series to a much-deserved third map on Icebox, where Alpha took over, sending Sentinels packing to keep EMEA's hopes alive.
To Alpha's song right now! Narrate digging deep, but it's not gonna be enough! Fnatic came, saw, and conquered!
Fnatic are hitting their stride at the perfect time, and their win means that there's one team from each region remaining at Masters Toronto. Wolves, PaperX, G2, and Fnatic. If you told me this would be our top 4 heading into the event, then I would have called you mad. G2 and Fnatic are the only teams that were really expected to make it this far, but the final weekend of Masters Toronto is set to be a banger. At this point, it's anyone's tournament to win.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring the notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit us up on our X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.